Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Snow Day College Basketball Red Zone Mega Stream. I'm your host, Sean Vowells. I've got Mike Koomar here, too. This is the first time that we're trying this, so you're going to have to bear with us. We've got 4 games on the YouTube right now that we can see, and Mike and I will be reacting to them, and then if there is a close game, which there is right now, we'll lock into that one and we'll do play by play and color commentary for that game. Now, Mike, with the weather around the country, a lot of games got pushed up to this early afternoon slate, so we figured we could get some commentary, some live reactions in, and we'll see how this goes. But this is an exciting slate.
Yeah, this is a good slate. It's all happening a lot earlier than expected. I think we had games tipping off as early as 10 o'clock Eastern time because of weather across the Southwest, Midwest, and even onto the East Coast. We saw a few games moved as well. I believe Rutgers, game against Indiana was moved to an earlier time slot because of the weather. That's trying to make sure teams can get back to their campus safely. But this is going to be a fun afternoon of basketball. We're already seeing Kentucky and Ole Miss a little closer than I thought going into halftime. Turned my eyes off this one, but this one's is getting good, and plenty of other ones across the East Coast that are bringing in some interesting ones, and potentially some unbeaten's going down right now.
So the initial plan here, and now we are in different locations and watching on different services. We're gonna go to the Ole Miss Kentucky game at the under 4 media timeout, which will happen at the next whistle, and then we'll do some commentary for that one. Um, Bear with us while we try and get locked in at the same time. But it looks like Ole Miss is going to take a timeout here. So it's Kentucky 62, Ole Miss 58 at the under 4 media timeout. And when that comes back, we will go into play by play for that one. But Mike, the other 3 games on the screen here, we've got Minnesota up 36-30 on unbeaten Nebraska. Minnesota at home has been pretty tough to beat. They've lost twice in overtime at home. They beat Indiana. They beat Iowa at home. This one was a pretty tight spread. I think it was about 5 for Nebraska, but Minnesota, after this first half, is going to have a chance to win.
Yeah, Minnesota, they've had a lot of really close calls this year. Don't have a great record. They're not a tournament capable team right now. They're going to have to knock off a lot of wins, but coming off of 4 straight losses, most of them have been tight games. I think all 4 losses are within 10 points of this one. Their worst loss right now, 10 points on the road in Champaign in Illinois. That's a tough place to play against a really good basketball team. So this is a team that just hasn't found a way to win games. Realistically, USC a 1 point loss, Wisconsin a 3 point loss. They're 2 games away from being 5-3 in conference, 12-7 overall, and yeah, they're at the bubble right there. So don't let the record fool you. This is a sneaky good basketball team. They had a good win earlier in the year against Indiana. So look out for Minnesota. This could be an interesting one, and we've been circling the calendar trying to find when Nebraska's first loss would be. We did not anticipate this would be the one at the barn in Minnesota. We thought it might be next week against Michigan, but maybe the Huskers are looking too far ahead and are getting caught up in this game against the Gophers.
And the 2 games that are occupying the bottom 2 spots here, Mike, are the ACC games. We've got Virginia beating North Carolina 43-34 at halftime. The Tar Heels did pull that back to single digits. Virginia had built at least like a 12 to 13 point lead. Virginia is an awesome team, as you can see. They're 16-2 on the year. They have that game is at halftime too. We will probably slide those up and add some of the Big East games after this Ole Miss Kentucky game goes final. And then the other one, Mike, we've got Wake Forest at Cameron Indoor against Duke. Wake did build a sizable lead early. I believe they're up by 7, but Duke has flipped the script and has gone up 11 now. So it looked like Duke a little bit of a slow start, but nothing to worry about from the Blue Devils.
Yeah, Wake Forest has really struggled since entering the conference play. Really, the game before conference play started, they had a good opportunity at home against Vanderbilt. Got blown out of the water, lost by 31 points. And since then, it's kind of been a struggle. The only games that they've won since then are Virginia Tech and at Florida State. Neither of those are really all that good of wins. So, with that being said, Wake Forest definitely on the outside looking in on the bubble. Duke, they look as solid as ever. I don't think we're going to see much trouble for the Blue Devils coming down the stretch in this one. They just look really good right now, and they keep winning games by big margins.
All right, Mike. Well, I have gone back from commercial here at the SEC. I believe I'm a few seconds ahead. So when the ball gets passed in here, you tell me, and then we'll get right into this game for Kentucky, who's been pretty solid recently. They're 13-6. This is a home game against a non-tournament team in the SEC. Probably one of their better games or their better chances for a win left. But all right, the ball is in for me. Let me know when Denzel Aberdeen starts dribbling it up the floor for you.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, this is really a big game for Ole Miss. You look at, maybe the season hasn't gone as well as they thought it might in year three under the Chris Beard era. With that being said, this is a chance to get a big win and maybe jumpstart their SEC play. They're only 3-3 in conference, so the season's not over for Ole Miss. They could get hot and get stretch balls in, and
Okay.
we could see what happens. But um, this is a big one. This would be a huge game to get on the road. They've been trailing the whole game.
Yeah.
This really hasn't been particularly close
Away the mid
until the second
range.
half.
No good, and Ole
But
Miss gets a big stop there, Mike. They needed that.
yeah, they did. This is let's see what we got.
We got. It looks like the AJ Store show here. Malik Dia and AJ Store have 2/3 of the points for Ole Miss.
Yeah,
So if you had to guess, you would think that they're going to be taking the shot here.
you'd think that under three. Oh,
Threes up,
nope.
no good, and out of
Got the
bounds,
ball though. Okay.
and it will stay with Ole Miss. So Malachi Moreno can't bring that board down. This is just one of those games, Mike, that you really just need to get out of there. Like Kentucky hasn't been super sharp.
No.
Oh, ball's
Oh, good
in.
inbound. Oh, take the ball inside, big fella.
Yeah, he looked like he had a point blank look there, and he did not take it. He's backing down away. Oh, and that
Oh,
offensive foul
and
is
one.
good. And one. Man, he really got away with that hook.
He did. Yeah. I'm Owe is stunned right now, and I think he and Mark Pope have a fair point. There was probably a hook there. Um, a lot of
Oh
contact. Yeah,
man,
you're just not allowed to. How is that
yeah.
a foul on Owe?
Some
That's crazy.
sometimes if you get the hip with your hand, they'll let it go. But he got his hand all the way around his back there.
Yeah,
That is a
that's
big play.
crazy. I mean, there was a lot of contact both ways. Missed the free throw, but
But
um, yeah, that's a crazy foul call.
so we're under 3 minutes now. Kentucky up 62-60, and Kentucky's going to be looking to extend their lead here with Chandler and now Aberdeen and now Owe. Now Moreno
Yeah.
gets the ball in the post, and he fires it out of bounds. Turnover.
Oh, not good. Yeah, Kentucky really needs to get the ball to Owe coming down the stretch. He's clearly been leading the team in this one. Get him active and get him in the post. Right there, they had him out in the corner. He needs to get active down low. He's got 21 points. He's leading this team right now.
Yeah, 18 of those. Oh, and Ole Miss throws it out of bounds, and we're going
Yeah.
back the other way. Oh, wait, 18 of his 21 points have come in the second half here, and a really, really bad mistake there by Ole Miss, just essentially giving Kentucky a freebie.
Yeah, I
And,
can't do that coming down the stretch. Ole Miss really continued to creep back in. I mean, this game was never a blowout, but it just never really felt like in the first half Ole Miss had a chance. Um, my thought when the first half closed is, Kentucky's going to find a way to make this a 15-point game under 10 minutes to go and kind of cruise. Um, that has not happened,
yep, so
and it's a little shocking.
somebody took a timeout here, so this is a short commercial break, so we'll
Yeah,
stay with
quick
this
Kentucky
one.
timeout.
We do have the Big Ten game. That second half has started. Minnesota and Nebraska. Um, the ACC games have not yet. But Mike, coming into this one for Kentucky, it was the first 4-game win streak in the SEC under Mark Pope. Now, it's his second season there, so it's hard to win 4 games in a row in the SEC. But they were all doom and gloom there for a second. They had a couple of lucky wins down the stretch with that Moreno fadeaway that they just showed on ESPN, and all of a sudden they've won 4 in a row with a chance here for a fifth, and we're back in play.
Yeah, I mean the first two games you had expected them to win. The LSU game was probably a little too close to comfort, but um, victories against the two UTs specifically. Oh, all right,
So, oh, no way jumper
missing
is
play.
no good, and a rebound is not corralled by Kentucky, and Ole Miss is going to have the ball here, Mike, with a chance to take the lead again. Now, the ESPN GameCast that is on the screen is ahead, so I'm gonna take it off.
Yeah, it's this is interesting. Now we're down to 2 minutes. Has Ole Miss led in this game? And all of a sudden, oh,
Scramble
good rebound.
situation, no good. All right, so I'm putting Clemson and Georgia Tech up there for the time being, but that is the game that we are watching.
Ooh.
Mid range is
Oh
no
no.
good, and man, a ton of really really good looks here for Ole Miss to tie this game, Mike, and they have not made them.
Yeah, no, this is you got to take, when you're on the road, especially the tough place to play like Rupp, you got to have to capitalize on those open looks. They weren't chucking up three balls there. Those were two good opportunities to get the ball on the rim.
Now Aberdeen gets the switch. He drives, gets it to Chandler. Chandler to
Oh, good play.
Diabate.
Oh,
No good. Moreno the rebound, and he is fouled. So Malachi Moreno will be going to the line. Pretty good
great.
a little better ball movement there from Kentucky.
Yeah, great ball movement, good cutting. They got a pretty good, I mean, perfect play call. They got a layup with under 2 seconds on the shot clock, and they couldn't convert, but get the rebound, get fouled coming back up. That was a big one for the Cats.
So Moreno will go to the line. He is 67% on the season, 2 for 4 in the game. Got a chance to make this a two possession game, and he makes the first.
Yeah, this is next free throw is going to be a big one.
Ole Miss is trying to sort of offensively just sort of forced it inside and taking tough twos. We'll see if they don't do that here. And Moreno is
Oh,
no
it's
good on
out.
the second
Ball
one.
on the floor.
And it's Diabate who's down there, and it's
Oh,
going to be a
what
jump
a
ball.
big
Arrow
play
goes to
for
Kentucky.
Kentucky. What a big play for the Cats.
Yeah, that's probably a worse. You'd rather, if you're Ole Miss, you'd rather just have him make the free throw there.
Yeah, this is starting to look pretty doom and gloom, I think, for the Rebels. Could have been a travel. He's moving a little bit with his knees on the ground, but they don't call it. They call the jump ball.
Yeah, I don't think he
Um,
really had it yet.
yeah, but that's a huge play for the Cats.
So they're going to be looking at something here. They're going to be reviewing. It looks like potentially a clock issue, or I don't know what else it could be other than a shot clock or a clock issue.
I think it's
Now,
got to be a clock. I mean, right now the shot clock's at 18.
yeah, that makes sense, being that it was an offensive rebound.
Yeah,
And yeah, they're just going to leave it. Or no, it shouldn't be at 18. Oh, yes, it should. Okay, all right. So they fired
yeah.
into the backcourt to Aberdeen, and he brings it forward. We're under a minute left. 63-60 Kentucky.
This is it right here. This possession is huge. Oh,
Chandler for three. Got it. Colin
wow.
Chandler from downtown. Not much of a play call there. They sit a little bit too far behind the screen, and Colin Chandler makes him pay. Kentucky
Wow.
66, Ole Miss 60.
What a big time shot. A bold one, nevertheless, because if they don't get that rebound, they had a lot more clock that could have gone down, but a really confident stroke from the young man. That is a big three, and that kind of puts this game on ice, just giving the young man too much room.
Yep.
What
I
a
would.
pretty stroke.
It looked like Ole Miss was in what a lot of coaches call an X5 defense there, switching everything. And the switcher who was Chest, he just didn't get far enough out there. And Chandler from way downtown.
Yeah, that's the thing I see sometimes. It does bother me that, we're seeing a lot less hedging of screens right now in the college game. It really started a few years ago. But switches can be difficult on defense, especially with the range that some of these college athletes now have when they're shooting. So Colin Chandler hadn't had a great shooting day, just one of six behind the 3-point line until that one. That was huge, and that puts this game kind of on ice.
So I would say, Mike, defensively, almost every team switches 1 through 4. And if you have sort of a traditional plotting big, you try and do something around that. But I mean, Ole Miss has some length, and Kentucky. I mean, Moreno is not necessarily like a traditional post, so I think that they were probably thinking just try and get out of there with a bad shot, and the argument can be made that they did force a bad shot,
That's
but
that's a long that's a long three, but
yeah,
he also had a lot of room in front of him. Oh, could have called a block there.
and
Another one.
there, and they're just letting this thing go, and that's an air
Wow.
ball from
Mm.
Store Moreno with the rebound, and he is fouled.
Yeah, the officiating at both sides. This hasn't been one-sided, but they've made some questionable calls coming down the stretch to affect both teams. I don't. I mean, those look like two pretty clear blocking fouls to me, but um, fouls are not called. Kentucky's going back to the line, and they've pretty much sealed the deal here.
And it will be the double bonus for Moreno here, so he'll have a chance to make it an 8 point game. Kentucky leads 66-60 here at Rupp Arena. And Moreno, 1 for 2 last time. He makes the first. So it's 67-60 Kentucky. And at this point, Mike, Ole Miss has not shown an ability to get super hot from three. So if Kentucky can take care of the ball and make their free throws, they're going to get out of here with a victory.
Yeah, and this is, for a while it kind of looked like this might be survive and advance, and really just one big shot put this game on ice. Colin Chandler with really the shot of the night here in Lexington. So looking pretty good. Oh,
Free ball from the corner
three
is
ball's
good.
good.
So not done yet. Ole Miss is going to Chris Beard is going to use his final timeout. But Mike, I believe that Ole Miss had 3 chances to tie it at 62-60. I'd have to go back and look at the box score, but they had a few chances. Kentucky, like they weren't going to win this game in the low 60s.
Yeah.
Kentucky eventually
Well,
makes the
and you looked
shot.
at it, you looked at that one another turning point in this game. Uh, Ole Miss had a good possession. They got a shot inside the paint. A little floater didn't fall. They got the rebound, got another good look up, and didn't get either of those shots to go. That would have tied the game at 62. And we'd be in a completely different situation right now. Then you look at, Ole Miss misses, or excuse me, Kentucky misses that second free throw, and Ole Miss, if they can get on that ball, they're down three. That's huge. But instead, that turns into a 4 point possession as Kentucky gets the rebound, and then Colin Chandler throws up the dagger three to really put this game out of reach, or so it seems. Um, it's really interesting to see this Ole Miss coaching staff. You're starting to see pretty much Chris Beard's entire staff from when he was at Texas Tech. People don't remember Mark Adams was the head coach at Tech for a while after Beard left to go to UT. The two had a little bit of a spat for a couple of years, but after Adams was fired from Tech, he did make his way back to the sidelines at Ole Miss with his former coach. So, the coaching staffs here at Ole Miss, you just wonder if they have the resources to compete at a high level in college basketball, because I know they have the talent sitting on the bench there with the coaching staff.
And they're one of the few teams that plays like a ton of players, Mike. They routinely
Yeah.
go 12 and 13 deep. AJ Store 28 minutes off the bench today, but you have Tyler Perry, who is your point guard, who is a former Kentucky Wildcat. Like in this day and age, you don't see this many players play, especially for a program that has less resources than those who are there playing against. And so Owe will go to the line here to make it um, for 2 free throws. But if you have less resources than your, you know, other teams in your conference, it would make sense to try and get away with less of a rotation because you have, let's say $3 million.
Yeah.
They're going to be better if you have 8 good players rather than
Well,
12.
yeah, they're going to have 9 guys that have played 10 minutes or more in this game. And then you've got a few other guys that are getting, a rotation or two in. So you wonder if that almost is a hindrance to this squad playing too many players just because you're not having the same consistency on the court together. I don't know.
I I think the
Coach
same
Beard knows his
argument
team
could be
better.
made for Seton Hall too, Mike.
Yeah.
Shaheen Holloway and Seton Hall. We've talked about their resource situation here, but they have like 12 players that they play, and on one, like Shaheen has always done that, even back to his St. Peter's days, because they practice so hard that people get injured in practice. Um, and that three is no good, Mike. So it looks like Aberdeen is going to get this one, and 12 seconds remain. Um, so
Yeah.
I don't believe there are any other games that are down the stretch close. So let's each take one for the time being, and then if we can get to like the last 5 minutes, we'll go back to one game like we did here. But Nebraska, Minnesota is pretty close. We've got Virginia and North Carolina that are sort of hanging in there. Villanova and UConn in the first half. All right, so I'll go to the Big Ten game, Nebraska,
All right, I'll,
Minnesota, and
I'll
then you could,
take UVA and UNC.
take Carolina.
Yeah.
So I am
Yeah,
going with the
UVA
barn.
finding or Carolina finding a way to make this one closer. They win the first few minutes of this second half. So we got off to a really good offensive start here, making this a 5 point game. This game is well within reach right now. You looked at how much UVA was winning this game early on. You like the way that Carolina is fighting in this one. They've also played 10 guys in this game. And part of that is a little bit of foul trouble. Visser is got 2 fouls, but for the most part, a lot of players playing for the Tar Heels in this game.
And Nebraska, on the other hand, Mike, has also fought back a little bit to start the second half. They have brought it back to one. So this is 14:37 remaining in the second half. This is the under 16 media timeout. Nebraska has been in this position many times before. They are 19-0, but I believe they've been losing in the second half in 7 of their 19 games. So they know a close game. And Sam Hoiberg is leading the way with 14 points. So, Rink Mast, Price Sanford, Lawrence, all struggling from the field, but it's the coach's son who is keeping his team in the game here. And then on the other side for Minnesota, it is the big three of Durkin, Crocker Johnson, and Tyson, who are all in double figures. So an interesting one here that we've got at the barn, and the same for you down there in Charlottesville. But I am just getting back from the. Are you're not in a timeout yet?
No, not in a timeout.
Okay.
North Carolina just made a quick little land to make this a 3 point game. Um, it is good to see good basketball being played at JPJ Arena again. This is a fun place, good basketball community, and a big time shot there by the Cavaliers to make this a 6 point game again.
So Nebraska is going to have the chance to take the lead here for the first time since very early in the game. And Minnesota is
Hmm.
really, really sagging off these Nebraska players, and they're sort of letting them take these threes, but they do get
Yeah,
a stop there.
this game in Charlottesville is kind of turning into a shooting clinic right now. Both teams trading threes and then a good lay-in by UVA. So a lot more offense so far in the second half. We're just 4.5 minutes in. UNC's already got 15 points in this half. So 4.5 minutes in, I should say. But uh, pretty pretty interesting stuff here.
He had 26 points in just under 5 minutes. That's a lot of points. And we've got a turnover by Minnesota here. Reynolds throws it out of bounds. Miscommunication.
Ooh,
On
good pickpocket. Wow.
in
Fast break for UNC, and they're going to get fouled, get 2 shots, have a chance to make this a 3 point game against the Who's.
on the other hand, Mike, of the games that we're not watching right now, Villanova has the lead on the road at Connecticut right now, 28-20, now 27. Switch just as I was saying that there with under a minute left in the first half, and corner pocket is good for Jacobson, and Nebraska has their first lead in a while. And on the other hand, Duke is still holding off Wake Forest pretty well. So if every couple minutes we'll check in with some of these other games, we'll hang in with these games until we get down the stretch.
Yeah, this is
Nebraska is currently on a 12-2 run when they've come back and taken the lead.
yeah, this just could have been the wake up call, and Nebraska may just needed to get um into the locker room at halftime, but they've seemed to opened up a brand new world right now here in the Twin Cities going into the second half.
And Mike, Minnesota have just played 6 players in this game more than 1 minute. Grayson Grove off the bench has played 1 minute, and he has not registered a stat yet. But um, every other player has. They've just had 6 players, so potentially something to look at here as Minnesota might be wearing down a little bit.
Yeah, no, and looking at a couple of other games now transitioning in the southern part of the country. Vanderbilt right now, maybe they heard my gripes. They're playing pretty good basketball right now. They got a 22-point lead in Starkville, Mississippi, taking on the Bulldogs. So they're looking like they're going to cruise to get their first game, get off the losing bandwagon here. There's still 11 and a half minutes to go, but a 22-point lead, 65-43 there. And then you're looking at the ACC. Clemson, they're looking right now pretty good against Georgia Tech. They've got an 11-point lead midway through the second half. So the Tigers, they've been pretty dominant in the second half of this one. This game was tight going in to the second, but building a big lead. Georgia Tech just 4 points in the first 6.5 minutes of the second half.
And up in Providence, Rhode Island, Mike, the Ed Cooley return version 3, I believe. Third
Yeah.
time he's gone back there, and it's the Friars that lead 43-25 at halftime. What a place that must be right now. As Judas has returned to the scene of the crime um, for Providence. They've won the first 2, and they look like they're headed towards a third win here. And Nebraska has opened up a 4-point lead, and just a ton of turnovers here in a row for Minnesota. Mike, I think as we're going to the under 12 timeout here, there's a little bit of a tide turning at the barn. Looks like Nebraska is taking control of this one.
Yeah, it just looked like they needed to get into the half. You wonder what it could have been. Could have been the travel. But teams have bad halves, and Nebraska's recovered pretty significantly. We talked about how Hoiberg was really the only player that was able to get anything going offensively. That has changed in this half. So the Huskers starting to kind of get the lid off the rim, getting a lot of points in. They've got a 16-6 run so far in the second half. The Gophers, on the other hand, not getting the ball to the rack right now, just 6 points in 8.5 minutes gone by in the second half.
In East Lansing, Michigan State is taking care of business against Maryland. They're up 62-34 at the under 16 in the second half. Maryland, Mike, is a team that is going to be one of the worst teams this year in the Big Ten. They've lost a couple of their players. If you remember, Buzz Williams did have a late start there in terms of the portal and all that, and he loses his guy that he brings over from A&M and Pharrell Payne. So it's been tough for Maryland here as they look like they're headed towards another loss, in which they'll fall to 8-12. But Michigan State has taken care of business, Mike. Every single starter has made a 3, and that is and they are 5 for 7 from 3, the Michigan State starters. So they're not firing them up there, but they've each made one. That has got to be the first time that I've ever seen that. Well, there's certainly other
Yeah,
times, but something that comes out when you look at the box score, they're out rebounding them. So the Spartans are headed towards a big win here.
you don't expect to see Sparty putting up 46 points in the first half, especially shooting the three ball the way that they are. But when they can shoot the three like that, it's going to be a bad night for whomever they're playing. Look, Maryland's not a very good team this year. I don't think expectations were super high. Their entire team got purged when Kevin Willard left to go up to Villanova, and they brought in Buzz Williams pretty late. So I think Coach Williams will have a good opportunity. They've got a good fan base. They've got some good money to bring in players. He's a good recruiter. So I could see him turning this around. This is just not the year. I want to actually go back and talk about another coach that we were alluding to earlier, Ed Cooley, and his return to Providence. I think at some point you got to wonder if the Ed Cooley experiment has run its course in Georgetown. Look, he took over a program that was in shambles, but with the resources that the Georgetown fan base has, I'm not sure what their NIL collective is, but there's a lot of money from Georgetown alums that probably desperately want to have a good basketball team because it's been about 10 years, maybe even longer since they've been good at basketball. And you're
Yeah,
kind of surprised that they can't get a winning product on the floor. So I would not be surprised if this is the last year of the Ed Cooley experiment. I also wouldn't be surprised if he finds his way back to Providence within the next couple of years.
And I do think Georgetown has really been affected more from NIL than other schools. Like it's the Big East. I think it is pretty good there, from what I have been told, in the Big East. But they do play at an NBA arena, Mike. That's like a 20-minute drive from campus. So I don't know if the students really get out there as much as they probably should. And I'm sure they would if they started winning. But like
Hey,
you
if they
said,
had a winning product, I mean, Duncan, well, it's not Duncan anymore, but that's not on Providence's campus.
yeah,
Um,
they get there.
St. John's, like Madison Square Garden, not on their campus. If if the Hoyas had a winning product, they would sell out their games, especially in the nation's capital. There's a lot of people that would want them to be DC's basketball team, the same way the fans flocked to the Garden last year during St. John's magical Big East season. So I think the fan base is there. They just got to get the right guy to be coaching them, and they really haven't found it since John Thompson III left um, a while ago. So yeah, I don't know. Pretty
So
bleak down there
yeah,
in
but both of
DC.
these teams, honestly, Providence and Georgetown, not up to standard this year. Back to
No.
the barn. Cade Tyson did make a layup for Minnesota, but then Nebraska responded with a triple in the corner. So Nebraska has opened up a 7-point lead here.
Yeah, and in Charlottesville, Carolina pulls this game within one. However, UVA now at the line, they're going to make this a 3-point game. So this one is getting tight. Carolina is shooting the daylights out of the basketball here in the second half. They're also getting out in transition pretty easily. So looks like UVA is going to break into a full court pressure right here to try to get Carolina off the rhythm here.
And
Oh, shove should have been called a foul um, twice now, but the crowd here in Charlottesville doesn't love that.
a Nebraska layup makes it a 9-point game, and Nico Medved takes his time out. It seems to be slipping away here from Minnesota, Mike. So I think let's lock into this ACC game. I'm going to turn it over there.
Yeah. Yeah, what a difference a half makes. 10 minutes in, the Huskers now dominating that one. So that's pretty close to over. However, this game in Charlottesville is a really good one right now. And Carolina makes it a 1-point game once again.
All right. So how much time is left for you?
I 12:35.
Okay. When you get to 12 minutes, let me know because I just crossed the 12-minute mark
Okay.
and I paused it.
Yeah, Fubo, not as quick.
It's all right. At some point, the internet can handle us talking on this Zoom and watching that at the same time. So it could be worse.
Be worse. Man, could have been a walk there. 12 minutes right now.
All right.
And
And
UNC has the lead for the first time in since 2-0. The Tar
so
Heels take the lead.
Ryan Odom and Virginia didn't put them away when they had the chance, and now they find themselves with a deficit here, almost 3/4 of the way through the game.
Yeah. This is I think when you looked at early in this game, you really thought, maybe this just wasn't Carolina's night, but what a good fight this has been. And a missed layup there. That's going to be tough to come back from. And here he is. Carolina, they've been getting in transition all second half. UVA kind of on their heels, and this is how North Carolina's got the lead now.
And DeRitter misses that layup from close range. You'd have to think maybe some fatigue there in short arming that and then not getting back down the floor and having to give a foul. I believe that was to Ritter. I'm not sure how many. Maybe it wasn't. I'm seeing on the replay, but still, seems like that this is the point of the game, like where if you're the road team and you have some momentum, the crowd really starts to um, vocalize their displeasure. Like if you can keep
Yeah.
this up a little bit here, you are going to not turn them against them because Virginia is a very good team, but um, So that was actually Grunlow who missed the layup and then didn't get back on defense. DeRitter is number 28. He's leading the way with 15 points. He's the freshman from Antwerp, Belgium, and he averages 16 points per game and 6 rebounds. And Mike, that just shows how great the freshman class is because you don't hear that much about Tice DeRitter.
You really don't. It just shows how much talent is on this roster. Really going to be a fun team to watch coming down the stretch.
So that foul was the under 12. That foul went to Devin Tillis. So um, North Carolina is going to have a chance to get a 3 point lead here after the timeout. We have got Georgia and Texas. Mike, I don't think we've talked about that game yet. Mike White and Georgia have a 4 point lead over Sean Miller in Texas early on. Georgia 16-3. Um, they have they had a pretty good start to the season. You know, they lose to Ole Miss at home. They lose to Florida on the road, but they've bounced back from a couple of poor performances with that win against Arkansas, the win on the road against Missouri. There's another chance for a solid road win here. They seem to be going under the radar a little bit.
Yeah, Texas, I think is turning out to be a better win than we may have thought originally. Look, they're 2-4 in conference, but Texas could very easily have that flipped, and they could be 5-1 or 4-2. You look at their four losses. Um, Three of them are by 5 points or less, including their 4 point loss at home against rival A&M, and then they lost at Kentucky by 5 this week. So this is a better team than we thought. You know, they had that two really good wins so far. In terms of the strength of conference play, I would argue that Texas has had up to this point the hardest schedule in the SEC. They're going to have a good chance to get a win here, but they're going to have to claw back at home before things get a little bit easier for a while. They get South Carolina, Ole Miss, at Missouri, and LSU. And before that, they have at Oklahoma. So if they can probably get one out of these two games, whether it's Georgia or Auburn, get one of those two, um, I think Texas could be in a position to run off a few consecutive wins and get onto that bubble watch.
Yeah, the Duke game, Mike Duke has opened a 15 point lead here, so I'm going to replace that game on the bottom with Georgia and Texas. So we've got the Nova UConn game, Nebraska, Minnesota. Minnesota's holding serve a little bit here, getting back into this one. They're only down by 8. And then we're at the under 12 here um, in Charlottesville. If that game does tighten up a little bit at the next media timeout, maybe we'll go back to the barn at the end here. But um, North Carolina and Virginia right now, as North Carolina has a 3 point lead.
Yeah, this is really, I can't say how big of a game this is for Carolina. They went out and did their West Coast swing, went 0-2 against Stanford and Cal, both tight losses, but that's just such a tough trip to make, especially during the week. So they bounced back, had a really nice win against Notre Dame before this one. And this one, who knows? Virginia might be able to fight back to get a nice lay in there. But this would be arguably the signature win of the season for the Tar Heels. And after they won off a bunch of those games, like I said, those two California losses were big.
And
So this would be nice.
that layup is good by Seth Trimble, I believe. Yep. So they are
Yeah,
back up 3 here.
nice lay-in.
And that layup is made by do not number 5 on Virginia.
Sam Lewis, he's got 11 tonight. He's having a good game. Obviously, DeRitter is really putting the team on his back right now for the Cavs with 15. But right now, they cannot stop North Carolina from imposing their will down low. And that's the thing. Carolina, 31 points in the first 10 minutes of this half. They've made a lot of shots, but also a lot of them are coming down low. They're going to get lucky there that the ball falls through Carolina's hands. But
Yeah,
um,
a missed shot by Virginia, and North Carolina's not able to corral the
yeah,
rebound.
Stevenson just kind of falls through. But
And Hubert's been getting better minutes from his forwards, not named Henry Visar, today. I mean, Visar's he hasn't done bad, but he's just been in foul trouble. But Seth Trimble, Mike, is starting to run this game, and Visar has now knocked this inbounds pass back out of bounds twice. But Seth Trimble, it's clear that the first action that they're running is for him, and these last few possessions, it's worked.
Yeah, absolutely. And you look at really a well-balanced attack right now for Carolina. They've got four players in double figures, and still got 10 minutes to go in this game. So um, there an illegal screen is called
I think he's
to give
just
Carolina.
out of bounds. I think.
Oh, just out of
Yeah.
it. Okay. Um, that's another tough cough up for uh, Virginia. This game really seems to be getting away from them. Another thing, Carolina not turning the ball over right now. It's such clean basketball on the offensive end. They look so efficient right now, just really imposing their will on Virginia.
So it's going to be Evans who's going to run the point here, or Dixon, sorry, and now they're looking for Stevenson down low, the Alabama transfer, the spin, the fade, and he gets
Yeah,
the
that's a good
roll.
shot. I mean, there's not much you can do to defend against that one. Carolina's on a roll right now.
And Carolina up by 5 here. As we're into the last quarter of the game. It seems like Virginia, Mike, is making some shots here to stay in this one, but North Carolina made some easy ones. Now they made a tough one. See if Virginia can counter here. It's Lewis in the post against Bogavats, and he has to throw it out to Thomas. Thomas on the drive, flips it up, and he is fouled. So Vasar, another foul. And Malik Thomas, not the Arkansas one, a different Malik Thomas. He is going to head to the line for two.
Wow, some breaking football news there.
Yeah, Steelers are hiring Mike McCarthy.
Interesting.
The more things change, the more they stay the same.
McCarthy Rogers reunion question mark?
Hmm. First free throw is no good from Thomas. That is Visar's third foul, so he's probably going to exit for a little bit, and Caleb Wilson is coming back in the game.
Yeah, I think that the thing for Carolina coming down the stretch is Seth Trimble going to be able to take charge in this one? Because there is a chance, right, that Carolina misses a couple of possessions, and just like that, UVA has the lead again. It could turn that quick, but
All right, Mike.
right now it's all Carolina.
I'm gonna make a Mike McCarthy post, so this one is gonna be on you for the next couple
Yeah.
minutes.
Well, there it is. Missed three by Trimble or by Dixon right there. Cavs get the rebound. They're going to move up the floor. Um, but this is a drive. Ball is stripped. Good find down low, but UVA is going to cough it up, and a good hook shot to make it in right there. Um, that is going to be on Onyezo. Big shot there. Make this a 2-point game. And just like that, the crowd is getting right back into it. That's Onyego's first rebound of the game. Oh, no. Well, yep, they're going to call a walk there. And just like that, almost like we drew it up, UVA going to have a chance to either tie or take the lead on this upcoming possession. Um, all it takes is a couple possessions for the Cavs to get back into this game with how well North Carolina has been shooting the ball. It's going to be tight again. Got Mallory running the point right now for the Cavs. This is a big one too for Virginia. They're 16-2, but they don't have the most impressive resume. Oh, a huge shot to go for the Cavs to tie up this game. We thought there could have been a foul to go with the bucket, but it's not called. And just like that, it's a tie ball game again. We thought just a minute ago that this game could be getting run away with by the Tar Heels, but just like that, it's a tie ball game.
And on the other hand, Mike, the other game that we had, Nebraska and Minnesota, the Huskers have opened up a 17-point lead on the road. They've outscored
Wow.
Minnesota 35-12 in the second half. So yeah, this is going to be a Virginia basketball after the under 8 media timeout. It looks like we're going to have a fun one down the stretch here, Mike.
Yeah, Kyron Evans misses a wide open three. The ball goes out of bounds, and it is UVA basketball. So just like that, wide open Trey missed, and UVA is going to have a chance to take the lead when we come back. This is probably going to be a fun one coming down the stretch. How about Nebraska though? Coming back in the second half, you wonder what Fred Hoiberg said to his team to get them now up by 19 points. Um, Currently on a 37 to 10 run in the second half after Nebraska jumped out to an 8 point or Minnesota jumped out to an 8 point lead. So um, this one is, pretty crazy how ugly this got so quickly for the Gophers.
And in the Big East, Mike, I don't remember either in Hartford or Stores. Villanova and UConn are underway in the second half. That game is tied up at 33. That will probably be the game that we go to next after we're done here in Charlottesville. But um, a couple of really, really good games already, Mike. We had a one early game, Ole Miss Kentucky, that we didn't think would come down the stretch, but turns out it did. And we've got a couple of good ones here.
Yeah, we know Kevin Willard in his first season of Villanova. He's got a really good track record against UConn, specifically Dan Hurley coached teams. So this one, we expected this to be a fun one. These are two of the three teams that we expect to see playing for an NCAA tournament come the end of the season. Villanova, they had that tough loss to St. John's, but overall, they've looked pretty good in conference, and this would be such a big win if they could pull this one off. This would be their signature win of the season. So
And
this could,
they've put themselves in a position where they don't need this one, but it still
no,
would be awfully nice.
but this one would probably get them back in the rankings and gets them probably within a 5 or 6 seed, Sean.
Yeah, I'd have to look at the matrix. I'm gonna try and do one tomorrow morning for bracketology, but yeah, it's. I think there's a pretty clear. At least the last time I did it, there was a big drop off like after the 7 seeds, where
Yeah.
8 seed and down is really Bubbleville right now, and I think Villanova is clear of that already, and they've just turned out to be like a solid team this year. I think Kevin Willard can get better rosters than he has here, but there's a floor with Kevin Willard teams. They're always going to be at least okay. And you get some Caden Lewis, a freshman, is a little better than expected, and you get a little bit of a weaker Big East, and that's how a tournament team can come to be.
Yeah, and you look at even when his time at Seton Hall and at Virginia too, or Maryland too, his ability to do more with less. You
Yeah.
looked at that roster he had at Maryland last year. That was one of the best freshman classes in college basketball in recent years, in any recruiting class. So he has an ability to acquire talent, and Villanova definitely has the money to land some pretty big players. So that one should be a pretty fun one.
So we've got Houston and Texas Tech coming up next on ESPN after this one. That is probably going to start on another channel, Mike. We still have 7 and change minutes here left. No, that's ESPN. We're on ESPN2 now, so disregard that. But we have got Virginia bringing the ball up here with a chance to take the lead.
Yeah, who would have thought? They get a couple of good stops, a couple of buckets. They've made 4 of their last 5, and this is right back to square.
And just sort of a lot of probing on the drive and the discard, and it
Wow, big time
goes.
shot.
DeRitter gives Virginia the lead.
Ooh, could have gotten away with a walk there.
And Mike, it's ESPN Gamecast is a little bit ahead of us right now again, so I'm going to try and find something to. Well, I'm going to try
Nope.
and find something to block the scores here.
Yeah.
We'll take this one off for now, but that's the one that we're watching.
Oh
And
man, what a terrible shot. He's an
Matt,
open look, but when you're in transition, why are you taking that shot when you're not a 3 point shooter like Mallory?
and that had a chance to really take the the roof off of this arena, and
Yeah,
unfortunately, it catches nothing but air.
maybe a little too big for his britches.
So now, on the other hand, Mike, North Carolina's been punched in the face, and they've got a chance to get this game back tied up. Trimble is there in the corner. It's a double stagger. Now Vasar, and he just, the post entry to Caleb Wilson was not on target, but they're going to get Mallory with the foul.
Got away with one there.
This is just a simple little floppy action. And
Yeah,
yeah, I
I
mean,
mean,
that's
Mallory
a
was
foul.
holding him. That's a pretty easy call to make by the officials. I know the crowd at UVA is unhappy, but guy had his arm around his waist.
Yeah,
So
that's why the pass was inaccurate because he couldn't get his
yeah,
arm out there.
that's gonna be called 10 out of 10 times.
So I believe
A
this
lot of
is
contact down low.
Evenson shot is no good. He gets his own rebound and he steps out of bounds
Man,
before.
that was almost a crazy good rebound.
Yeah, I mean he did get it and fired it back to his teammate, but unfortunately
That was close.
he took off from outside the boundary. But Mallory will bring it forward for Virginia here and a chance to extend their lead.
Just like this, that Virginia defense that we've seen through many different coaches, or I should say a few coaches over the last couple of years. Oh man,
The alley oop to
lob too
Yenso,
high.
not accurate, and it's a turnover. Stevenson for three in
Uh,
the lead, no good. Yeah, that's not his game really. I'm surprised he took that shot.
yeah, just seemed like North Carolina, they're shooting the ball really well there for a while, and now just some of these shots aren't going in. Maybe a little bit too ambitious of some heat checks here. They're doing really well when they're getting the ball in transition and getting it down low. They have not been as successful at getting it there in the last several minutes. Haven't scored in a while now.
And Virginia Mallory gets the switch on Vasar, beats him, and he's going to get himself to the line for two. So Vasar, I believe that is his fourth. Mike, he is probably going to exit this game. After this first free throw, just 7 points for the Arizona transfer. And now Mallory has a chance to make this a two-possession game.
Yeah,
First
big
one is
time first
good.
shot there.
So Visar does come out. So it'll probably be Stevenson and Wilson in the forward positions for North Carolina. Bogovats has come back in as well with Trimble and Evans. And both free throws are good. So North Carolina fell behind early. They fought back. They took the lead. And now they have to fight back again. Virginia picking up full court here on a 9-0 run. 4 minutes without a point for North Carolina, Mike.
Yeah, I think it's actually been closer to five.
Stevenson,
Open
another
three.
three. It's
And
good.
that there it goes. There it is.
That is just a simple screen and replace. And Virginia does not stick with the pop there, and Stevenson hits the three.
Yeah, big time shot there.
So DeRitter is probing for Virginia on Stevenson. DeRitter, oh, what a spin
Mm,
move. Off the
drop
glass. It's
step.
good.
Well done.
And Virginia back up three, 73 to 70 here, under 5 minutes.
Man, how about Michigan State doubling up Maryland? That's an ugly one.
Yeah. And they're going to Wilson in the post here. Guarded by Onyenso. Wilson pump fakes up.
Another
It's
good one.
good.
Mm,
Back and
we
forth
got
we go.
we got a ball game on our hands. What a great, this is where UNC is their best on offense. Got to get the ball down low, make a couple open shots here and there, and they're back to where they were earlier on in the half.
So Mallory gets Bogovats switched on him. He's trying to spin. He's trying. He fires it out. Hall on the drive. Wilson kicks it to Thomas for three. No
Wow.
good. Rebound
What a
is
rebound.
corralled by Dallin Hall, who has DeRitter inside, and he is fouled by Stevenson. So Virginia leads 73 to 72. And they'll have 2 free throws here after the last media timeout. But what a couple minutes of basketball here, Mike. This is
Yeah, this is going to be a really fun one coming to the stretch here. We're now at the under four timeout. Just you can tell both teams really want it. For UVA, this would be a huge win en route to getting a more comfortable protected seed and compete with Duke for an ACC championship. They're still a long way from that, but this is a really entertaining game.
So we're gonna put the score back up for now, and then as soon as I see it change, it's coming off again. Don't want to see the score before it we react to it. That's kind of defeating the purpose of why we're doing this. So that is the game we're watching right now: Virginia and North Carolina. We have Nebraska with an 18-point lead with a minute left, Mike. That is going to be an impressive victory for Nebraska. Minnesota is just outside the top 75, so it's not a quad one win. But based on what other teams have done at the barn, I believe this is the
Yeah.
first Big Ten team to win there in regulation.
I mean,
USC and Wisconsin won there in overtime, but this was a statement, 43-19 in the second half.
yeah, Minnesota just added another bucket with the scrubs in the game, but you look at the run that Nebraska had in the second half, it is very impressive stuff by the Huskers, and they're going to have a really entertaining game this upcoming week against Michigan. It's going to be probably the best game in the Big Ten so far this year. I'm really excited for that one.
Yeah, and somebody's going to get out of there with a victory, and that's going to change their NCAA tournament profile. I mean, Michigan is probably the number 3 overall seed right now in terms of bracketology, and Nebraska is on the 2 line as of now. So, a really big game there. We've got Georgia, who have opened a 7-point lead over Texas at halftime. Texas, we already talked about them. They've just been a very odd team this year. We have Villanova with a 6-point lead over UConn. Mike, it seems like they continue to just hold off UConn every time down the floor. But Nebraska and Minnesota is final, so I'm going to put another game in that slot. But after this Virginia UNC game, I think we're headed to the Big East next.
Yeah, it looks like it. And you look at Duke right now, pretty dominant. I think as we kind of expected over Wake Forest. Um, who knows? Maybe Georgia Tech can make a run, but with 4.5 minutes to go, they've been kind of getting bodied all second half. I don't see that happening. Um, that Villanova game, that's going to be a big one.
Providence has opened up a 20-point lead against Georgetown at the AMP. And Jalen Edwards, the starting point guard for Providence, is out today. So that is an incredibly big statement there, once again, for the Friars. Just sort of scrolling through what game wants to take this 4th spot. Let's put the Patino Bowl up here. Rick Pitino is searching for his 1,000th win as a head coach, and it happens to come against his son, Richard, and Xavier. And Mike, a quarter of the way through this one, it's Xavier that have the lead in Ohio, 28-27. But St. John's starting to get into a rhythm here, and it continues with a victory.
Yeah, I mean,
It
you
will
look at Xavier.
continue. Yes, yeah. They haven't won yet.
Xavier's been so volatile this year. So it'll be interesting to see what team we see coming out of the first half going into the second. But St. John's, this would be a rough loss after they've built up a lot of credit on the resume over the last couple weeks.
So DeRitter, the first free throw is good. The second one is no good. So it's Virginia 74, North Carolina 72 here. We're under 4 minutes to go, and North Carolina has a chance to tie it or take the lead. Stevenson and now Wilson down low. They've run this action a few times in a row here. It's Hall, guarded by Wilson to Stevenson from the same spot for 3. It's
Nope.
short. No good. And now North Carolina on defense. It's Hall. Thomas is looking for DeRitter down there in the post. Trimble is fronting him, so they can't get it down there. Just a lot of nothing happening here this possession for Virginia, and they've got 4 seconds to fire it up, and it's actually going to be called a backcourt. So a nightmare possession there by Virginia, and North Carolina gets the ball back.
Yeah, you can't waste possessions when you're coming down the stretch like that. Just 3 minutes to go, clinging to a 2 point lead. You need to make every possession count.
So Evans will run the point here for North Carolina. I'll see if they run the same action again. And it looks like they're going to. Oh, nope, it's to the other side. Stevenson on the drive. Waits. He's fouled, and it's good.
Foul.
And one.
Wow.
So a little bit of a counter there by Hubert. They run the same initial action, but then they push it towards the other side. They get Bogovats on a little screen, and then Stevenson on the drive. He gets the defender in the air, and he flips it up and in.
How good has Stevenson been coming down the stretch? Made a couple of big three, or made one big three. He's got 14 points in 13 minutes of play here. This is huge.
And the free throw is good, and North Carolina have the lead with under 3 minutes
Just
to
like that,
go.
all the momentum too, with the heels.
So Hall will run the point for the Cavs. See if they can get DeRitter a good look here. It's Thomas at the top of the key, gets the switch on Stevenson, and he forces it out. Ooh, DeRitter nearly travels. Mallory on the drive, no good.
Here we go, transition.
Trimble looking for it. Trimble is fouled up and in. Another and one for the
Wow.
Tar Heels.
And that's where UVA struggled all game, is getting back on defense in transition. That's where UNC's made their bread and butter. Oh, excuse me. Um, and that's been a struggle right now. Great drive by Trimble. Way to force the contact, get the look.
And this has all
And it's
been
starting to look like it's all Tar Heels coming down the stretch.
in this little run here. Mike has been with Vasar on the bench, and
Yeah.
I think that this speed is causing some issues here for Virginia defensively. Stevenson appears to be the five, and he is taking people off the perimeter and driving to the hoop. We'll see if they stick with Vasar on the bench. He is over there still. And Trimble to make it a 4 point game. It's good. So
There it is.
78-74, North Carolina. Not over yet. Still over 2 minutes. But yeah, it's been a while since Virginia's got a good look.
Yeah, we'll see. And they're not getting any position down low. You see they're trying to work for it. We'll see what kind of post up move we got here.
It's just a simple post up by DeRitter here on Wilson, and he is
Gonna get
and
fouled.
fouled. So yeah, they had to work really hard to get him the ball there, and he goes to the line for two.
Yeah, Wilson was doing whatever he could to make sure he wasn't going to get the ball. There was definitely a lot of contact before DeRitter got it, but once there, DeRitter imposed his will to
It's
get towards the
probably
bucket and get fouled.
probably not the end of the world to foul him there. He's below 70% on the season. And the
Yeah,
first free throw is no good. So, yeah, I mean, DeRitter has great touch around the hoop. I think you got to make it as hard as possible. And obviously, worth the foul already. Can't be missing free throws if you're Virginia, though, down at the end of the game here.
yeah. I mean, you looked at DeRitter before that, 5 of 6 on the night. So he had been shooting the free throws pretty well, but right now you need to make both of these, and they're going to make none of them.
And the ball is on the floor. Scramble situation. It's out of
Oh,
bounds.
yeah.
North Carolina ball. Exactly 2 minutes remaining.
So they can review it.
Ryan Odom does have two timeouts left, so he can challenge one here and still keep a timeout if it's unsuccessful. You've got to challenge this.
Yeah, I
And
think
that's
you
what they're
do. There
doing.
and there it is. There's the coach's challenge. Too much to lose right now. Giving Carolina the ball, a chance to go up by 6 this late in the game. You got to check it.
And it's also probably not the worst time for a timeout anyway if you do happen to lose it. But it was on the other side of the floor from the TV camera here, Mike. I do believe it went off Hall last, but we're going to get a closer look here. Off his feet. Does he touch it there? Absolutely
It's just
no
so hard to
idea.
tell from that angle.
Absolutely no clue from that first angle.
You
Hall
cannot tell.
Hall is pretty adamant that it does not go off him. All right, let's see here. This should be a better angle. Oh, that may have been Caleb Wilson's arm. that got in there and poked it free. Man, what a tough what a tough position this one is for the refs. It is North Carolina ball on the floor, but Virginia is challenging it. This might be one of those calls, Mike, where it's probably off North Carolina, but can they really tell? Oh yes,
That yeah, I don't think you can overturn that call. Like I don't know if there's a way to do that.
that hits Caleb Wilson's hand and then goes a different direction. Hall gets his hand near there, but does it touch? Now we're not watching this with sound, because of copyright reasons. But I don't know what
Yeah.
the announcers are saying. That
I
looks to
I
me that it's
think
off of
that's
North
got to be
Carolina.
UVA ball, but
Yeah,
it's so hard to overturn.
yeah. A lot of these out of bounds calls, Mike, that they challenge are like, okay, it's probably wrong, but so they have two angles that they can post together. They know that this bounce to the right towards the bench is off of Wilson's hands, and Hall does not touch that. No, this should be Virginia's ball.
Yeah, it's got to be UVA ball, and this is a huge call right now. Um, Gotta stop because we're getting chirped in the comments. I don't know how long that's been there for, but yeah, I guess the Doors had a good win.
Yeah, well, they needed it and they got it.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe not a 7 seed, but could still be.
Yeah,
We'll see.
I think they're roughly going to be on the 4 line tomorrow when I do my projection. Um, this win doesn't really help them all the lot, but it gives them a lot of confidence after a couple losses in a row. And these
Man, they're taking a
refs,
long time with this challenge. They want to get it right.
yeah.
I understand that, but
But I think you can piece together a few angles, right? You see that Wilson's hand gets in there and hits it. And then you can use another angle to see if Hall touches it with his hand that's going by. But I don't think he does.
yeah, I think that's got to be UVA ball.
You can see over the shoulder here of the, well, not anymore because they changed the camera angle, but they've got about 8 different views of this, and doesn't appear that they're any closer to a call here because they've got the visual of the announcers and the few fans that are right behind them. And now the referee is speaking to the
Ball
crowd.
overturned.
Yeah, so that's what we
Use
thought should have
ball.
been. They made sure. And not only do they get the ball, Mike, but they get that second timeout back and their challenge back if they need it again.
Yeah, that's big.
So it's North Carolina 78, Virginia 74 here, 2 minutes left, and Virginia has a chance to cut into the lead. And it's
Good screen. Oh,
DeRitter.
going back.
Charge. Basket is no good. That is a charge on Tice DeRitter. This is, I believe this is something that is not able to be challenged. But see, Stevenson gets over there. Yeah, and he is,
Just went right into his chest.
that I mean, he may not have been super set, but I'm okay with that not being a block. I mean, he
Yeah,
was,
by the letter of the law now in college basketball, that's a charge. 10 years ago, that might be a block, but not anymore.
it's a little pick and
Oh, wide
replace for
open.
Stevenson. Bang.
Stevenson is just having such a good game. He has a defensive stop there with the charge, comes back, hits the three. What a great game for him now. 17 points in just 15 minutes of play. You're going to wonder if he's going to start to get some more playing time.
So UNC up 7. Thomas from the
Oh,
corner is good. All right.
all right.
Not
Never
done
say
yet.
never. I thought that was the dagger from Stevenson, but maybe not. Maybe there's some life still left for the Who's.
And that was just a simple, I think some people call it a Spain action, but it was a little bit pushed over towards the side. But Stevenson gets that three. That is an action that they've run, 5 to 6 times since we've been locked into this one, Mike. And
Yeah.
Malik Thomas with a crazy fadeaway shot from the corner to cut this to 4 for Virginia. Now you're down 4 with 1:20 left. You've got to be defending this one out, right? No fouling yet.
Yeah, I don't think you can foul yet. You got to play this one out. Try to get it back to a possession game under a minute to go. Too early to foul for sure.
All right. So we've got. Yep, we see both of the defenders there just staying with the screener, which was Wilson, and Stevenson is. I've watched North Carolina a lot this year, Mike. I didn't know that he was a 3-point shooter. I thought that he could make a three, but he is. They're running actions for him to shoot threes here. He makes it, and he
Yeah,
was
I
at
mean, 2 of 4
Alabama
from behind
last
the arc.
year. Yeah. So North Carolina up four here, 120 remaining. Well, the score was updated on there before I took it off again, so apologize for that. So we do know what's going to happen here, but let's pretend like we don't.
Yeah.
It's Evans just sort of probing here. And they do the same action again. Evans fires it up and it's blocked. Virginia get a
Yeah.
huge stop.
Looking for a foul call there, but that was pretty clean.
So now Hall rejects the screen, burns Bogovats. It's good. The layup is good.
Quick move. That was good. I think you still play this one out if you're the Who's.
Yeah, you have 50 seconds left here, up two. It is just the 1-1, so maybe a little bit more reason for them to foul, but and North Carolina is going to use a timeout here. So it's 81-79 North Carolina with 43 seconds remaining. Tar Heels ball. Mike, this has
Man,
been
just when
a
you think this game
crazy game.
is over, or just like that, UVA brings it back, and we could be seeing this game go into overtime. UNC going to have a chance to still close this one out, but man, what a back and forth this has been.
And seeing the replay of that drive by Dallin Hall there, Mike, that probably could have been a foul on Bogovats. He was behind him. He sort of hip checks him, but Hall lays it in anyway. So your 43 seconds left, roughly 20 seconds left on the shot clock, 23, I think. And it's been the Stevenson show here, Mike. You would think that Virginia is going to throw everything at him. Where are you
Yeah.
going here if you're Hubert?
I think right now you got to go with they're probably going to do an ISO, knowing what I know, probably going to have Trimble or Caleb Wilson out there. But don't be surprised if they're trying to do some screens and cuts right now for Stevenson. He's the hot hand. He's been playing some great ball. I just think with 23 seconds left, they're going to try to go to one of their guys to go drive to the rack, maybe kick out to Stevenson.
So we have got the possession arrow going to North Carolina here if there is a jump ball. And we have both in the 1-1 only for the at least the next two fouls. So that is something that could come into play here if there's a foul on the floor. Virginia needs
Yeah.
a stop. They've gotten a few. They got one last possession when they sort of denied the ball to everyone else except for the point guard. He had to throw it up, and he was unable to do it. All right, so Trimble is the trigger here, and they're going to get it into the backcourt to Evans.
Playing
Hall,
pretty tight defense on Evans. Surprised, UNC's moving the ball. Did
Wilson,
not see this one
up
coming.
off the glass.
What
It's
a
good.
play.
What a shot by Caleb Wilson. What a tough shot. They run a simple screen, an empty side screen and roll here for Caleb Wilson. They get the matchup that they like, I guess. Pretty good defense, but not good
I
enough.
love that play call. Great play drawn up there in the huddle. Man, way to move the ball because so many teams are just complacent with just trying to drive and get to the hoop with seconds left on the shot clock. Not UNC. They get to work right away. Great look by Wilson.
So North Carolina is going to use their last timeout here. No, not their last timeout. They've got one remaining. But those were points 19 and 20 for Caleb Wilson to give North Carolina a 4-point lead here with 31 seconds left. Now, still a lot of time to go here, especially with the fact that it's still 1-1. But if you're Virginia, Mike, I think you want a similar look to the last possession where you get a matchup that you like and try and take it to the hoop.
I think so. Look, you got to work quick. You don't need a three right now if you're UVA. The one thing you also have going for you, UNC's not in the double bonus. They missed the front end of that 1-1, and they're going to have a chance to win that game. So Yeah, just got to move quick, get to the bucket, get a quick shot, and then foul.
So Hall will take it out of bounds for the Cavaliers here. And Mallory looks like he's going forward to a screen to the corner. It's Thomas on the drive, and he is fouled
Fouled.
by
Oh
Stevenson.
man.
Man, that was lucky
Oh
that did not go in.
yeah, that would have been huge. Shot clock off now, so regardless of what happens, UVA's got a foul. You start to look at who they want to get to the line. The guy they really want is Visar, who's just 61% right now. I don't know if Visar's in the game.
So Thomas 1 for 2 on the day, 70% on the year, and another
Oh
missed free
man,
throw. Oh man.
that might be ball game right there.
So they remain down 4. They can still cut it to a one possession game here, and it is still at least 2 more 1-and-1s for North Carolina, and the second one
All
is
right.
good. So make that 83-80. Looks like that they're going to Virginia's going to take put Lewis back on the floor here to foul. Maybe one trap. I mean, there's still 20 plus seconds left. So you don't want them to get it across half, but maybe you don't need to
Yeah.
foul right away. They get it to
Yep,
Evans in
there's
the
the
corner.
trap.
There's the trap.
Oh, they call foul.
So maybe not exactly what Virginia had in mind there. It's going to be Kyan Evans to the free throw line. Nope, Derek Dixon. I've been calling him Evans all game. It's Derek Dixon, 80% on the year. This is a 1-and-1, so it looks like Virginia's going to bring their big guy back in to get the rebound here. And the
Yep,
first one is good. 84 to
that's
80.
huge. This one will be a big one. If North Carolina can get to a 5 point lead with 22 seconds, I just don't see this happening for UVA.
And the second one is short,
No good.
but the rebound is
Oh, what a
good. Caleb
rebound!
Wilson. And
Wow.
they're now going to put Trimble at the line. What a great rebound by Caleb Wilson.
Yeah, Caleb Wilson, he's had a phenomenal game. Only had 4 rebounds, but that's the biggest one yet. And then they look like they're about to put this game on ice. Got to make a free throw though.
So, yeah, this is the big guy that they put in. He just
Mm.
simply does not go for the ball when he's after boxing out. So, a tough blow there to put North Carolina back at the line, and it's
Oh,
another
missed it.
miss. And this time he gets the
Wow.
rebound. Under 20 seconds we go. Virginia down 4. They need a 3. Thomas
Oh, you
up,
don't do
and he is
that. Why
fouled.
would you do
Oh,
that?
he's not fouled. And the rebound goes to Bogovats, and
Oh
they
man.
commit the foul. When that could have been 3 shots for Virginia there, Mike.
It could have, but it's just I don't like that shot choice. You still got time. You're down by 4. You may as well just take it to the rack, right? Um, I get it. UNC, well, they would still been in. They're still in the bonus, so yeah. I don't like that
Yeah.
chucking up a shot. I guess it almost went in, but be a little bit more patient and try to get a better look.
Yeah, I mean the time was a little bit of an issue there, but they were all sort of parked at the 3 point line. So I think if you had gone around them, I think they would have let you score the 2. But Luka
Carolina
Bogovats
was giving
now,
up the 2, no problem. They were giving up the 2, but now it's a little too late.
and
Man,
another miss,
all of a sudden, 3 straight missed free throws for UNC.
and including
They've
one
been
of
playing
those,
so well in this game. They just can't close this one out.
and including a front end of the 1-on-1. I feel like if you miss the front end, Mike, it should be 0 for 2 on the
Yeah,
stat
yeah,
sheet.
exactly.
It's what we used to do
Basically a turnover.
back in high school basketball. And that one is
There
good.
it
So it's a
is.
5 point lead with under 10 seconds left here. At this point, we are just making some people not happy. Mallory fires up to 3. It's no good. And the ball is free, and Virginia will not foul. So North Carolina go on the
Wow.
road and get a huge victory in Charlottesville. after a tough 0-2 trip to California. They pick up their signature win of the season, 85-80. Mike, what a game there for North
Yeah,
Carolina.
what a statement win. You look at they're on a slew of road games right now. This was probably the toughest one in terms of games on the schedule. And they go into Charlottesville in front of a sold out John Paul Jones Arena and they get the win. This is a huge, huge win as they get ready to play at Georgia Tech next week, next Saturday. So they get a week off. And then after that, a lot more home games on the schedule for the rest of the season. So they're going to get the week off now, get able to be rejuvenated before they take on a pretty struggling Texas Tech team. And look, you never know. You never know what can happen. They get Duke twice. If they can get Duke at home, rattle off a bunch of other wins, UNC could find themselves in contention for a share of the ACC regular season championship.
So with this victory, Mike, I believe they go to 16-4. I do not think that ESPN has taken into account that this victory here, and 4-3 in the ACC. They've had a tough schedule so far. They've already had the California trip, which is harder than expected. They've already played SMU on the road. They've already played Virginia on the road. They've played all the best teams in the league on the road. And they do not play Louisville on the road, and then they don't play Duke on the road till the final day of the regular season. So
Yeah,
potentially a nightmare-ish. Yeah, so now it's 16-4 and 4-3. But potentially like a nightmare murderer's row type of games in the ACC for North Carolina, and they get out of there with 4 wins.
they can absolutely make a run, and I think that's what's scary right now is that there's some stuff coming for UNC. Very winnable games. I really like the direction that they're going right now.
Okay, so Mike, we are going to go to UConn and Villanova, and we're going to see the rest of that one, and then that'll probably be it for this stream. But we are at the under 8 timeout there with Villanova. I will have the other scores up there for now. Houston and Texas Tech are locked in a close one. Georgia and Texas are close. And how about this, Mike? Richard Pitino has a 12-point lead against his father at halftime.
Wow, and that's something we certainly didn't see coming. Definitely a kind of a shocker.
And I believe it was 17 at one point too. If I if I
Wow.
was looking correctly. But so let's go over to Fox to wrap up this one. Villanova has just sort of been holding them off all game, Mike. So um, let's take this one off because it's we're watching it. But when you hit the 7:30 mark, let me know.
Yep.
It is 48-46 Villanova here at the People's Bank Arena. I believe that's the one in Hartford. Yeah, because Gamble Pavilion is the
Mohegan's
one on
son,
campus.
yeah,
Yeah, that used to be. This used to be the XL Center. This is the home of the Hartford
yeah,
Whalers.
7:30 right now.
All right. So in the corner for three.
Wow. Oh,
No
thought
good.
that
And
was going
rebound
in.
by Villanova. Okay.
I think this one's maybe surprising people a little bit too. Look, UConn's the number two ranked team in the country. Uh, I don't think a whole lot of people expected Nova to come in here and give them a run for their money and maybe win this game.
And Terrace Reed's going to commit a foul 40 feet away from the basket there. And
Can't
that's
do
going to put,
that.
and both teams are in the bonus. Mike, this is going to be free throws for Villanova. So just a little bit of a reset on this game so far. Devin Askew off the bench is leading the way in points for Nova with 13 as the free throw is no good. And then on the UConn side, Solo Ball with 18 and nobody else in double figures. So it's been an absolute defensive battle. Both teams under 40% from the field. This one is going to be going down to the wire. And
Oh
Terrace
yeah.
Reed lays it
Good
up and in,
move.
and we are tied.
Good move.
So we are under 7 minutes to go here. And Villanova will look to take back the lead. Askew gets a screen. And number 4 on the post up, he lays it up and in. Big time
There it
finish
is.
there by Villanova. And Tyler Perkins, I believe, with the layup there.
That's a big time shot right there. Make this a 2-point game.
So it's Demery at the top of the key. They get Caravan on the high post and Terrace Reed again.
No shot. Okay.
And this is going to be a foul on the floor. Terrace Reed got away with a little bit of a hook there. Not as egregious as the last one that we talked about, but
Yeah,
we'll see.
and that would have put Reed at 4 fouls. He would have had to sit
Oh
out for
yeah,
probably a minute or two.
yeah.
That one would have been,
That was not a hook.
yeah.
He tried, but he didn't really get his arm around there. So Duke Brennan with the foul. That looks, and he heads to the bench. And now Terrace Reed from the stripe. 1-1 because it was on the floor. It's no good, and the ball is out of bounds. Back to UConn. So a big break there by the Huskies.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, you're looking at Nova right now. Duke Brennan, he's in foul trouble, got 4 fouls in this one. He's played pretty much this entire game, so he's going to have to take a seat for a little bit. Looks like Kevin Willard wanted to get a replay on that, but he's
Yeah.
not going to get it off in time.
So Reed to Caravan. Caravan probing on Hodge. Caravan flips it up and in.
Wow.
We are tied at 50 here with under 6 minutes to go.
Wow, wow.
Where does Villanova go here? Askew to Perkins again in the same spot that he just scored from. Perkins backing
Backing
down
in.
ball, flips it up and in.
Oh,
Talk about some Big East
this is Big East
basketball right here.
basketball,
Yeah.
right? Just a lot of contact, getting in the paint, and getting to the hoop. This is fun to watch.
Yeah, with so many guard post ups, Mike, you'd think that Jay Wright was back.
No kidding.
But Caravan with a tough 2. And then Tyler Perkins responds with one of his own here. Solo ball playing pretty solid defense. And just a little bit better offense there. But Villanova leads 52-50 here with 5:30 remaining. That was a Villanova timeout. So now both teams will have 2 the rest of the way. UConn has one more foul where if it's on the floor, they'll be in the 1-1. Villanova's in the double bonus. There you see Dan Hurley and Clemani Young and Luke Murray talking to the huddle. And former Villanova assistant Mike Nardi, who is now on the bench for UConn. Mike, if you remember him, he took Villanova to the championship game of the Crown last year.
Yeah.
So the game
Yeah,
summary
Willard,
here, awfully similar,
it,
Mike. 39% each, 8 threes for Nova, 6 for UConn, plus 1 rebounds for UConn. It's very clearly coming down to the wire here.
yeah, I mean, no team's gonna win this game by just making a bunch of threes coming down the stretch. You're gonna have to dominate, half court offense to win this game.
So you kind of stuck with this 5 while we've been with this game. And ball, driving, ball, fading, no good. Terrace Reed, the offensive
Good
rebound.
rebound.
Ball, trying to guard Hodge. Oh, the long 3 is no good, but they're going to call a
Oh, they called a
foul on the
foul.
shot. This may have
Ooh.
been a leg. This may have been a decent job by Ball here to get this call.
I think he sold that call. He really kicked his leg out and fell down. I don't know if I agree with that call.
There's not like a huge amount of protest here from Hodge or Villanova, so let's see here on the replay. Ball pushes off a little bit. Yeah, I mean you got to let him land. There are more
Yeah.
egregious. There are more egregious flops than that.
Well, in this day and age in basketball, that is going to be
Yeah.
called a lot more than it used to. And you got to know that as a defender.
And Ball certainly knew that when he was not going to land to probably make it.
Yeah,
And the first 2 are good to probably make sure he got to the line. But yeah,
definitely
that's
sold it a
why
little bit. Yeah,
that's why there wasn't a whole lot of protest there by Villanova. You do have to let the shooter land.
yeah.
So Ball is 1 free throw away here from making all 3. Kevin Willard having a what looks like a conversation with the ref, and all three are good for solo ball here. So UConn has the lead, 53-52. Ball has eclipsed the 20-point mark as he exits the
Great game by
game.
Solo Ball. Had more than 40% of his team's points.
So let's see what Kevin Willard can draw up here. It's a skew and Brennan. Short roll. Brennan flips it up and
Good
in.
move.
Really
They
good
saw UConn
patience.
guys were getting ready to take the charge. He jump stops, makes a move around him. Good play.
So a little bit of token pressure
Oh,
here by
Caravan could have gotten
Villanova.
away with a walk there.
See, it looks like a little bit of a 2-3 zone here by Villanova. Off the make. They kick it to Caravan. Wide
Harmon.
open triple.
Bang.
Bullseye. So the little counter there by Willard to go to the zone does not pay off as Caravan makes him pay from downtown. So we got 56-54 UConn. Under 4 minutes to go.
Yeah, two straight 3-point plays for the Huskies. And all of a sudden they've got a 2-point lead.
Askew.
Oh, good rebound attempt and
Askew misses
two
the three,
shots.
but Perkins gets to a tip attempt where he is fouled. So Perkins will have a chance to tie this game after the final media timeout. But Mike, we have sort of found our way into a couple of really good games here today.
Yeah, a
Um,
lot of great games coming down the stretch. I'm sure we'll be talking a little bit about them this upcoming week. But Snow Day Saturday giving us some good ones to watch.
and a lot of the yeah, we are going to end this stream after this UConn Villanova game. I might be back later to do another commentary. We'll see how the day goes. But with so many games early on, we thought this would be a fun idea. And Mike, the teams have they've come up for us. I mean, a couple of big road win there by North Carolina, Kentucky, Minnesota, Nebraska, and then this battle in the Big East, which might be the two best teams in the league that we're watching right now, especially with what's happening to St. John's in Ohio.
I think it especially if you look at a consistency basis. Look, I know Villanova did lose to the
Did they?
Giants,
Yeah,
but
figured. Yeah.
um, it's they've from a consistency level, Villanova has been there this year. St. John's is not.
So over there, 12-point lead for Xavier at halftime. Houston is up 7 in Lubbock right now. That has been one that has, teetered between 3 and 7 throughout the first quarter of that game. And then now Texas, Mike, is taking the lead over Georgia in the
Yeah,
second
what a
half.
comeback the Longhorns are having down in Austin right now. That
Yeah,
looks good.
Texas is a team that I've watched a few times this year, Mike, and they talk about inconsistency. I mean, what a
All over the map.
they go to Tuscaloosa and win after losing at home to Mississippi State, who might be the worst team in the league, and then they crush Vanderbilt to hand them their first loss, and then they lose at home to Texas A&M, who is like a borderline tournament team, probably in right now. Then they lose at Rupp Arena, and now they're winning against Georgia. So back and forth they go with Texas. That sort of, I know last year was a lot of different coach. Tremont Mark is still there. That got them to the tournament last year. I don't know if the SEC is good enough for that to happen again this time.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to limp in with an under 500 SEC schedule. You also looked at the out of conference. Well, Texas didn't do anything egregiously wrong. They did lose to Arizona State. That was not a good loss. Um, but they just didn't really do anything in the out of conference. They had opportunities. They got blitzed by UVA. They lost to UConn in that one. Kind of hung around for a little while, but lackluster out of conference for the Longhorns. So they really have to be 500 or better in SEC play to make the tournament.
And were they 6-12 last year, Mike? I
I
believe
think
they
they were
were.
six and
With a
12,
couple
7 or 11, something like
with a
that. Yeah.
couple I think they had 2 wins. They were 6-12 in the regular season, and they had 2 or 3 wins in the SEC tournament. But yeah, I don't know if a team like that will make the tournament again. I think the committee will probably not do that again when it comes to Texas. But we're back here. Oh no, we're not back yet. A little bit of a preview to Illinois Purdue coming later. Now we're back in Hartford. UConn leads by 2, Mike, with 3:54 remaining, and Villanova has a chance to tie the game at the free throw line. We have, Villanova has gotten some pretty good looks here. So has UConn. It seems like that the coaches could be going anywhere in terms of who they want to take some of these shots.
Yeah, there's a lot of places that you could go. I mean, especially with UConn, they've just got so much talent on their roster. You could see a pick and play for Caravan. You could see solo ball just drive to the hoop. There's so many opportunities right now. And I think the other thing that's really impressive about UConn is their depth. Look, they can go eight, nine
Reeby,
guys deep in a game.
Reeby Mullins, that we haven't seen them since we went over to this game,
Yeah.
and
Even Malachi Smith, I mean,
yeah,
he's only got 6 minutes in this game, but he can put some quality minutes in.
and Perkins makes the first free throw.
Yeah.
Perkins nearing double double watch. Mike, he is 12-9,
Tie ball
and
game.
so a decent job here by um, Perkins from the line. He is a transfer from, or no, he played on Villanova last year and Penn his freshman year. All right, let's see what UConn can come up with. It's Ben Demery just probing here. Caravan at the high post. Caravan lays it up in and the
Wow.
foul.
Man, just a lot of 3-point plays for UConn lately, whether it's three free throws and one or a three ball.
This is
And
another.
that's how they're leading this game.
This looks like another zone here, Mike. And Caravan gets the ball in the weak spot, and Hodge, I believe it is too late. Smacks him on the head, and it's not enough to stop Caravan from laying it in.
Yeah, that foul's gonna be called every day of the week and twice on Sundays. So, if you're gonna foul them, foul hard, I guess, but
Or
no
yeah,
shame in just letting Caravan get that too.
so 59-56 UConn after the free throw is good. Mike, Villanova's run two possessions that we've watched of this 2-3 zone, and they've resulted in 6 points for UConn.
Yeah.
Perkins trying to back down ball. He flips it up and off the board, no good. But Brennan.
They're gonna call over. Oh, on the floor. I thought
So
they were maybe gonna call it over the back there.
so Brennan has the ball here, and Terrace Reed tries to wrestle it free, and he is whistled for the foul. So it's going to be two shots for Duke Brennan, and Villanova will have a chance to cut it to a 1 point game. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
Brennan couldn't afford to get another foul. He would have been out of the game.
yeah, I don't think this is an over the back. He goes straight up here, and,
No,
and
it's a good
Terrace
call.
puts his arm in there. Yeah, that is probably the right call.
Good call by the officials there.
So Duke Brennan double double after that rebound is the first one rattles
Ooh,
in. He is a senior and a transfer from Grand Canyon. He played there for 2 years before his freshman year at Arizona State, where he was a bench player
Lope's got a big win this week.
against the Aztecs. Yeah, and Brennan makes the second. So 59-58 UConn here. 3:17 remaining, and it's going to be
Yeah.
Demery who brings it up for the Huskies. A little pin down for Caravan, another pin down for Demery. They're looking for Reed in there, and the entry pass is kicked. So a
Hmm.
kick ball violation should bring this clock up to 20.
Yep, there it is. 3 minutes to go.
3 minutes to go, and UConn will have it side out. A good kicked ball, Mike, because Reed was deep down low there. If he gets that, he's probably turning around and laying it in.
And you could even have a bucket in the foul situation where Brennan fouls out of the game. So, oh, good inbounds play.
They
Oh,
go
didn't.
back. They go back to the inbounder, but he's not able to corral it enough to go up with it, so they have to recycle it. It's Demery, a double screen. Demery probing. Demery
No
flips it
3-second
up,
calls.
no good,
Interesting.
and a rebound by
Rebound.
Brennan. So yeah,
Okay.
probably a 3 second or a 5 second or three
Yeah.
fouls, but they let it all go, and Villanova gets the stop. It's askew on Demery. Askew lays it up, and he misses the bunny, and then commits the
Foul.
foul on the rebound. Oh man, a bunny to take the lead is no good, and then he puts UConn back on the line.
Yeah, a little bit out of control going down to the hoop there. Thought maybe he'd have a chance to drive and dish, but nobody
Ooh,
available. And yeah, I mean,
little
I will
bit of a
say it seems like you got to finish that one.
the reason why Demery sort of exited that play is he caught an elbow in the groin area, but not an offensive foul, I don't think. Just sort of his
Yeah.
elbows on the ball, but he misses it and does not get the rebound and puts Jaden Ross at the line.
Yeah, not the guy you want shooting free throws right now if you're Villanova.
And off
Oh,
the back iron,
wow.
no good.
Oh,
So
the announcer's curse.
so Hodge is going to come back in for Nova here. Palmer heads to the bench. And best case scenario here for UConn is a 2-point lead. And the second one is no good
Wow.
too. So long off the back
80%.
iron both times. And
80%
Villanova.
free throw shooter. You expect him to make both of those coming down the stretch and to stretch his lead to three. But now it's basically like a turnover.
So Villanova has a chance to take the lead. It's Lindsay on the drive. Kicks it to Askew. It's a dribble handoff for Askew. He gets past it. Flips it out wide, and he throws it to his coach, who is not on the court. Another turnover by Villanova.
Oh, man.
That is not.
Things are getting sloppy coming down the stretch for the Cats.
I guess if you're a coach, Mike, you shouldn't wear a suit the same color as your team's uniform.
Yeah, who knows what that was about there? I don't. It looked like
There was
he
nobody
was
even
looking at one of
close
his
there.
teammates he thought was going to cut over there, but I mean that was right to the coach.
So Askew heads to the bench. UConn up one here with a chance to extend it. We're under 2 minutes. Villanova's back in man, and they get it to Terrace Reed down low. Brennan with 4 fouls. Terrace Reed hands it off,
Uh,
and they call it travel.
and then yeah, Nova was looking for that travel. The crowd is shocked right now, but
And Dan Hurley not too thrilled with that either.
irate.
I do
But
believe
that's
this
not
is a
funny to me.
travel, Mike. So he has his pivot foot. Hmm.
Yeah, I mean right now Hurley's trying to say he lost possession, but I'm calling that a travel.
I don't know if that's a travel, but you can see why. It really depends whether you thought he lost control of it or not. So Villanova gets the ball back again. So a couple turnovers here in a row. And under 130 now. Villanova down one. Where does Kevin Willard go next? The ball is free.
Man, a lot of pressure here.
Yeah,
High
UConn
ball pressure.
under 5 seconds left. It's going to be a one-on-one. Oh,
Oh, good
Lindsay, what a
move.
move. It's off the window. It's no good.
Oh,
Brennan. The ball's on the
jump
floor.
ball.
Jump ball, Villanova ball. Man, Villanova's had a couple of really good looks here that have not gone down.
Man, yeah, Nova has had so many chances to take the lead coming down the stretch, and they just haven't. It seems like neither team is really executing all that well offensively. Good defensive game, but
Yeah.
good move. You got to
And
get that floater to drop though.
Ross thinks that he's going to go up for a three here. Ooh, maybe a little bit of a carry there by
Yeah,
Lindsay,
yeah.
but he doesn't make the shot. It's in the corner, wide open triple for Villanova. It's
Oh,
good. And Nova takes
wow.
a 2-point lead. I believe that was Hodge. And
Timeout.
UConn is going to use their final timeout here. So a huge break there by Villanova to get the arrow. And just a simple pass to the corner here, Mike, out of bounds. And Hodge drills the three. Yeah, he was wide open. Even took a second. So Villanova has a 2-point lead here, 61-59, with a minute and a second left on the clock here in the second half. What a huge three by Villanova. Dan Hurley does burn his final timeout here. Oh no, he does not. He has one more. He has one more timeout. So the challenge is still in play too if he hasn't already if he's used it already. I don't know. So it's Demery here at the top of the key. Looking for it. Demery lays it up and no good. But Terrace Reed tips
Oh,
it up and in.
wow.
And we are tied at 61.
Rather be lucky than good there.
And I believe Villanova's going to use a timeout here
Now they're
too.
going to
Yep.
call a timeout.
So
30 seconds.
61 apiece at 43 seconds remaining here, Mike. We've had some tough shots go. We've had some good shots not go. This one is going down to the wire.
Yeah. What an excellent game to conclude this stream. We've had a lot of good ones early on here. And this one, Villanova a chance to get back in contention for a regular season Big East title. They need this.
And this is a pretty good job here by Villanova defensively. Brendan comes over, a good challenge, and Terrace Reed just sort of slaps at this ball and tips it up and in. That is a pretty impressive tip in. And as the broadcast is showing here on Fox, UConn is 6-1 in games decided by 5 points or fewer. This is what this is going to be, right in their wheelhouse. Villanova's 2-2. So it is Villanova ball, Mike. 43 seconds left. Do you think about possibly going 2 for 1 here, or is it just take the best
I think
shot
you look.
can get?
I mean, situational. I don't think Nova's calling a timeout if we're not trying to go 2 for 1. So yeah, I think they're trying to get this ball, get a shot attempt off, in the next. Well, maybe not anymore. Um,
But they have been taking a lot of time off the clock on some of their sets, so yeah, it looks like they're just going to
yeah,
play
I
this
think
one
at this
out.
point they're playing for one shot.
And it's Lindsay here. Really high ball pressure from UConn. Lindsay on Ross. The
Oh,
three is
blocked.
blocked. Hodge
Oh,
has it. And they gotta get this ball up. And
oh,
jump
jump
ball.
ball.
A lot of
UConn ball.
contact there. Kevin Willard
Chance
is
to
not
win.
happy. But a great defensive possession there by UConn.
Yeah.
So this is just a great challenge by Ross. Not a good shot. It's a free ball situation. Hodge has it. He sort of wrestles it
Yeah,
free.
it could have been a foul call there.
Yeah, but I think that's okay after seeing it again.
Yeah, you know,
He kept the ball. He didn't lose it. If they had
yeah.
lost it, but all right. So Dan Hurley's going to use his final timeout here. We are under 12 seconds to go. Tie game, 61-61.
This is just great basketball. Big East at its finest right here. Just a defensive fight here coming down the stretch.
Somebody's going to have to make a shot. Villanova does have one timeout left. Both teams will be shooting 2 free throws no matter what happens. And Dan Hurley's going to use his final timeout. He's asking the ref where the ball is. This, again, Mike, we said it last time, but any of the 5 players on the floor could be getting the ball here for UConn.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, there's so many different options, and I think that's what makes it so tough for Villanova to play this possession out, is that UConn could go so many different ways, and I don't think they're just going to go with the drive.
Yeah, I think it'll probably be some kind of action for Caravan with the post up. If Caravan can't get a shot off, that would be my guess.
Yeah.
Ball is leading the way with 21, but other than that, Mike, it's been, nobody's done amazing, but they've all done sort of pretty similarly here. You've got 8 from Mullins, 8 from Reed, 6 from Demery, 4 from Reeby, 2 from Stewart, 0 from Ross. Like, there is a chance that it's probably one of those two that are going to get the ball here.
Yeah. Just so many ways you can skin this cat if you're the Huskies.
So it's going to be the same 5 on the floor for UConn. Caravan will take it out. And he fires it into the backcourt to Demery. Not a ton of time left for this play to materialize.
Yeah, they got to go.
Here's the action for Caravan. They don't throw
Good
it. Or now they do
defense.
throw
Good
it to him.
switch.
Caravan driving, and he loses the ball, and they're going to get a timeout with a few tenths of a second left here. So a very good possession by Villanova defensively here, and they get the stop. And if unless they put more time on the clock, this thing is going to be going to overtime.
I think they'll probably put 4/10 of a second up, which doesn't give them much time, but
Yeah, just a really good job by Lindsay here, and then
uh, may have gotten away with a hold there. But look, the officials have made it pretty clear that they're calling a pretty physical game, so you don't expect them to start blowing the whistle in the last possession of the regulation.
yeah, I mean that's pretty good defense. Palmer comes in and actually breaks it free, and then Lindsay
Yeah.
gets the loose ball. But a great job there defensively by Villanova, and looks like Reeby's going to come in here, probably going to put him on the ball here, see if he can get his hands on it, and then it'll definitely be going to overtime. But Villanova doesn't seem too happy here that because I'm guessing that more time. All right, they get one more tenth, point 0.3. So this is going to have to be something um, quite. This is going to be a miracle for this not to go to overtime at this point, unless there's a foul or something. But yeah, you have to tip this ball.
Yeah. Can't get a full shot off.
Looks like it'll be the same five out on the floor for Villanova as it's been down the stretch here. Reeby will be on the inbounder here. He cannot run the
Yeah, Reevy's going to
baseline.
make this one pretty tough
He
for
can't.
Nova to do anything here.
Yeah, he can't run the baseline either. So they should just throw this in. Yep, and go to overtime. All right, so that is no good, and we get a five. We get some 5 extra minutes of bonus basketball here, Mike. Not so fast, the basketball gods say with this stream.
We got some bonus basketball on our hands. This is awesome. What a great game.
So Villanova's had a pretty balanced attack here. Brennan, Perkins, and Askew all with 13. Hodge with 12. And then Ball and Caravan the only in double figures for UConn, like we said. But while we wait for this extra period, Mike, let's look at some of these other games that are happening. And look at what's happened down in Austin. Texas is up by 22. They have
I mean,
outscored Georgia 49-20 in the second half. And
30-point swing.
Texas is going to be 12-8 and 3-4 in the SEC in 4 minutes and 37 seconds. Obviously, we are not watching that game, Mike, because we've been locked in with the other ones. But what a great comeback and then pull away from Texas.
Yeah, I mean, this has just been absolutely dominant. You look at the score of this game, it was still 54-58 with 11:06 to go. So really in the last uh, six, 6.5 minutes, Texas has been on a 19-3 run. Well, actually, no, 21-3 run. So 6.5 minutes, 3 points for Georgia, 21-3 run by the Longhorns to really uh, end any chances the Dogs have of coming into Austin with a win.
Yeah, I mean,
It's just a super volatile team.
both of them, and that's why this has happened. St. John's has pulled it to within 10 here. Early in the second half, it's 55-45 Xavier, and then we have Texas Tech who have taken the lead over Houston in Lubbock. On some other games out here, Arizona is up by 13 against West Virginia. We have Miami and Syracuse in a tight one. We have Missouri and Oklahoma in a tight one. Louisville and Virginia Tech in a tight one early. We should have some finals from, yep. So Georgetown has come all the way back and beat Providence, Mike. 56 to
What?
35. 56 to 35 second half for the Hoyas. KJ Lewis with
What?
26 points. What a colossal collapse
Oh, we
by
totally took our
Providence.
eyes off that one. My
Yeah.
good. And Cooley is his first win against his former team.
So
Whoa.
let's see. They were down by 18 with 14 minutes left.
I
54
think
to
that's
36.
Georgetown's Is that their first Big East win of the season or
I think
second?
they have. Yeah, so that was their second. They beat Marquette in December to start the Big East season.
Wow.
So that ends a long losing streak. Mike, Providence was up 54-36 with 14 minutes left. So that means that they scored um, 50 46 points in 13 minutes. They hit some
Yeah.
threes. They're still up 20 with 13 minutes left, Providence. And then they stopped scoring for a little bit. Georgetown hit some threes. Yeah, so Providence was up 16 with 10 minutes left. And then Georgetown went on a little bit of a run to make it a 4-point game with 7 minutes left. And then they just kept scoring here. Down six at the under four media timeout. Um, Actually, three. They got a three right before it. But
Flash. What a way to start
what?
overtime for the Wildcats.
So Villanova hits a three. Other Big East game aside, wow, that's just a shocking result there for Georgetown. But we're back. Perkins has a double double at 16 points and 10 rebounds. Can UConn respond from that early three? Scoring first is so important in overtime. See if Villanova can. Caravan gets the post up, flips it out to Demery. Demery on the drive to Stewart. He flips it up and no good. Tip is no good.
Oh,
Raby gets the rebound. And they're going to recycle this one. Ball on the drive. Kicks it back out. So a good start to overtime for Nova. Demery. Oh,
that's a
charge.
charge.
Very good
Going
job
down.
defensively.
What a start for Nova.
Very good job defensively by Villanova. They hit the quick hitter for Perkins, the lefty, who hits the triple. And then Perkins moves his feet pretty well here. Yeah, that's going to be an offensive foul
This is
by
starting to feel like
Demery.
this is Nova's game.
Yeah.
Um,
It feels
you
like
know,
they've got to shut the door here with another
yeah.
bucket. Or not shut the door because there's plenty of time left, but they got to, oh no,
Oh,
turnover on the floor. Demery gets there first. He throws it to Terrace Reed, who
there
gets
it
it and
is.
lays it in. So a huge turn of events right there. And Villanova is up 64-63. See who Villanova goes to here. It's Perkins again. Perkins backing down the defender, which is Ball. Perkins gets him up in the air, flips it off the window. No good.
He's got it to go.
So a nice rebound there by Ball, too. Getting rid of the ball before he hits the ground, avoiding a travel. And just like that, UConn has a chance to take the lead. Caravan on the pin down, flips it up. No good, but the foul is called.
Yeah.
See who they get with this one, Mike. This would be Brennan's fifth. Great hustle play there by Demery to get that on the ground and then flip it over to Terrace Reed.
Yeah, that's big. Authority with the slam.
So Caravan hits the first. And they did get Lindsay with the foul there, so Brennan's still on the floor. And Caravan, the second one does
No
not go.
good. Tie
So
game.
64-64 here as we head into the second half of the overtime period.
Been a lot of missed free throws on this stream.
Yeah, it's just these super physical extra basketball games. Maybe a little bit they've moved up in time. You get some tired legs. The three ball is no
No good.
good, and they're gonna call this foul on Terrace Reed. Yeah, he does push Brennan here, so it's gonna be free throws for Villanova. Hurley doesn't love the call.
Yeah, he usually love those calls.
Yeah, that could be applied to about 20 different instances during this one.
Yeah, but that's huge because Reed's now out of the game.
So they're gonna have to go to Reba here. But look at this. Hmm. What does Reed do here? Yeah, I mean, he just sort
Yeah,
of,
I
he
mean
just, yeah.
it's small, but
Yeah, I mean, you
it's
can't
a
do
foul.
that.
It's a foul.
May not have even affected the play, but yeah, you cannot put your, he put his arm like right in the back
Two
of
hands.
Brennan.
Yeah,
And
with two hands to the back.
that just seemed like a, he didn't even have to do that. So Duke Brennan, 55% on the season from the line. He is 5 for 5 today. And the first one is good.
There you go. Seems to have found something with his stroke.
So it is, I'm assuming Reby did come in, or they'd go small. Yep. So Reby is in at the center for UConn, and Brennan, no, he cannot make it 7 in a row. So 1 for 2, and Villanova leads 65 to 64. See who, if they're trying to get it to ball here. Wide open
Oh
triple
yeah.
is good. So Askew overcorrects on the dribble handoff. Ball slips behind it and drills the triple, and UConn leads by 2. And here's Lindsay again. They're really sitting on his left hand. And he flips it to his right, no good. But Brennan gets the rebound, flips it up, and no good.
Almost gets that one to go.
So Reeve now gets the foul, and Brennan will head back to the line where he'll have a chance to tie the game.
Yeah, this is huge.
Yeah, it's just a really nice job by Solo Ball there. He sees Askew is fighting to get over the screen, and he just goes the other way. Loses his defender, knocks down the triple. And Brennan hits the first one. And the second one is good too. So Brennan makes both, and we are tied at 67. Under a minute and a half remaining. It's
Man, tie ball game with 90 seconds to go.
and Ball misses the triple, and they're going to call this foul on Caravan. Yet he would have got this rebound if not for the push by Lindsay, by the looks of it. And Caravan will have a chance to give UConn the lead. And that is it for Devin Askew. 13 points. He is fouled out of the ball game.
Yeah, that's a huge loss for Nova coming down the stretch. Nova's certainly not as deep of a team as UConn is. That's going to be a big role to fill.
And you see,
And definitely a foul.
yep, Caravan had position on him. Askew tried to get him low enough, but he ultimately did push off.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
So I believe this is just the foul out timeout that you get when you lose your first player. On the other hand, Mike, we've got St. John's who are pulling it closer against Xavier. They're within 5 at the under 12. And you've got Texas Tech leading Houston by about 6 at the end of the first half. There's a lot of points in that game, 55 to 49, and we haven't even hit the halfway mark yet. But I have a feeling Calvin Sampson won't be too happy about that.
Okay.
So
Yeah, it's
Caravan
going to be a
makes both.
Lubbock is such a hard place to play, Sean.
Yeah.
If Tech wins this game, that's really no slight to Houston. It's just so hard to play on the road in the Big 12, especially when you're going up to Lubbock.
So see who Villanova goes to here. A Caden Lewis on the drive, flips it up, no
Oh,
good. Scramble situation, and it's Solo Ball who has it.
no fouls if you're Villanova right here. Can't afford it.
Dan Hurley is telling him to slow it down. It's 69 to 67 UConn, under a minute left. Can UConn stretch this thing out to a two-possession game? Demery on the drive, flips it up and in.
What a play! That might be the knockout punch for the Huskies.
So Villanova gets it across and uses their final timeout. So UConn leads 71-67 here. Just a lot of moving parts there for UConn, but it turned out that it was just the point guard, taking the ball to the hoop.
Yeah, that's a big time play there. Nova's got to score and they got to score quick if they want this game to continue.
So now they have found themselves in, yep, chase the game territory here. And we get to see Jersey Mike's commercial again.
Yeah, we've seen a few of those. I guess makes sense for a Big East matchup.
So yep, Villanova probably need a quick two. They have had a few nice quick hitters for triples, but I think they try and attack the hoop. If they'll collapse, maybe you kick it out. But got to keep this game going.
Got to find a way to keep it going. I mean, you don't need to get a three here. You can get a two, but it's got to be quick. Can't take too much time off the clock when there's so little left.
Yeah, UConn has missed a few free throws here, so this game is not over yet. Um,
No,
but
man, I'm still trying to get over this
yeah,
collapse by Providence. How many more of these can
yeah,
English sustain for Providence without losing his job? I mean, look, you look at Providence's schedule and you really scratch your head because they really should be contending for an NCAA tournament right now, and instead they're 2-7 in conference.
yeah.
So many tight losses.
They have the talent. They are fun to watch. Kim sticks up for his players. He gets the crowd engaged, but for some reason, there's a little bit of a disconnect to the X's and O's because they have had like a few really good players over the years, and he is going to be 0 for 3 in NCAA
Yeah.
tournaments, barring a Big East tournament run. Um, but yeah, unfortunate for them. And how about that? Ed Cooley was probably leaving there pretty with a big smile on his face to all the insults that were no doubt being hurled at him as he exited the stadium. But yeah, what a huge game there. I'm gonna have to definitely make a post about that. Unfortunate
Yeah.
for
Hey,
Providence.
I who knows? There could be a reunion there at some point.
I don't know if they could ever go back. All right, so Askew gets the quick trigger three, no good.
I do not like that shot. I really don't.
So they
Off
get
balance,
they
forcing them to foul. They waited too long. They waited 6 seconds really to get that foul off. Just not a good play call, I don't think, in that situation.
it was that quick hitter, and it was open, but it's not very close to the hoop, and it is no good. And now UConn's going to go to the line here in overtime. So Silas Demery, the transfer from Georgia, is 81% on the year. This will be his first free throws of the game.
Yeah.
And he gets the
And
roll.
that's huge.
So, Mike, if this thing ends the way that it appears that it's going to, um, what a huge missed opportunity for Villanova.
Yeah, I mean, this would have put Villanova back in contention for a regular season Big East title. There's not we've talked about this. There's just not a whole lot of quad one wins right now that are available in the Big East. So when you have a chance, especially when you've got one in within your grasp, it really matters. Um, and Villanova does not appear that they're going to be able to get the job done here.
So
Um,
Demery goes 2 for 2. Villanova trails by 6 here. Lindsay to the hoop, no good. Rebound is by Ross. Then he gets it to Carabin, who flips it up to Stewart, to Ross, and ooh, maybe a highlight
and
dunk
they're just
was
going
in
to
his
run out the
mind
clock from
there,
here.
but he decides to run it out. Demery has it, and they're going to need to give a foul, and they do. Not.
Why? Yeah. Why would you foul? Yeah. No foul
Oh,
there.
now they do, actually. uh, so it's going to be a UConn victory. What a great effort from Villanova, but UConn gets the game to overtime and gets across the line here. If that's not an encapsulation of what UConn is, um,
Hey,
there you won't find
you,
one.
UConn basketball. It's tough. It's gritty. It's certainly not pretty at times. Only they're going to have probably 75 points in an overtime game. It's not much, but it gets the job done. It gets something in the win column, and they continue to fight, and they're going to have more chances to solidify their spot as a 1 seed come tournament time.
So Caravan makes both. The shot that Villanova flips up is no good, and the coaches meet at half court. A little bit of a long embrace there, but UConn 75, Villanova 67. Texas ends up beating Georgia by 20. Obviously, a great second half turnaround there. We've had a number of second half turnarounds today, Mike, between Nebraska, Texas, UConn, um, and now St. John's showing some life too. Texas Tech and Houston at halftime. So I think we're going to wrap it up here. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. This is something that is entertaining. We'll probably do it again one day. Maybe even some just single game commentary. But thank you everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.